Hello guys, you're joining us at Derwent Court. We are in a studio apartment and today we're going to be talking to you about systems and operations, specifically what systems and operations and manuals that we're putting into our business. And we're really excited to talk to you about this because we've recently been implementing with a business coach systems to help leverage our time and get the team together and build a foundation and structure for our company. So what are systems and operations? We essentially as business owners tend to have a lot of stuff in our heads that we know within the business because we've been there for so long, but we tend to forget to get that down on paper to allow our team to be able to understand the simple things that we're doing. And we can sometimes get a little bit frustrated when we delegate tasks and things might not be done to the standard that you were expecting, or they didn't quite get the point that you were trying to put across. We've invested in a business coach to help us structure a foundation for our team to be able to leverage our knowledge and grow the business. So the main things with business owners, we tend to be the bottleneck because at certain levels, when you've grown a business from scratch, you know everything inside out and you then have to approve everything to allow anything to happen. So it's now unfolding that and putting these systems and procedures in place which allow us to let the team delegate to the team and allow them to take some responsibility and deliver certain things that aren't as important. Yes, we haven't let go of everything. We haven't given all our bank account details, etc., away to the team to be able to make payments, etc. We'll get there with a financial chief or an FCO when we're there, but it's slowly building up all the small administrative tasks to allow leverage of our time and to get this well-oiled machine start working and really build a foundation of the structure to allow us to grow. So why have we put such an emphasis on systemizing our business? Well, as you're aware, our plan is to grow the business. And at the minute, we currently have a portfolio of 48 tenants and we're managing that in-house. But when we grow, we want to be able to have a system and structure in place. That means that we don't have to be there to approve every single thing or oversee every single thing and be a bottleneck like we discussed before. Having these foundations and systems in place will allow team members or new team members to come into certain departments, just slot in, and by looking at a staff training video and procedure and manual, they can then effectively just do that task straight away. And training up our other members of staff to then train the newer members of staff in means that we're not involved in overseeing every single member of staff. So it's a framework where we're putting in place which allows us to be on a helicopter view, so we're working on the business, not in the business. And it's really, really important to relieve some time from ourselves of doing administrative tasks, which not because we think we're better than doing that, but we've got a focus of growing the business and taking it to a higher level. And to be able to do that, you've got to free up some of your time. And not only that, what you want to do is create something that is scalable. Something isn't scalable if you are the only person that can approve things, that can do a task and has to oversee everything, because you can only get to a certain size before you are a big bottleneck and things are being waiting for you to approve, and you can't approve everything in one go, and therefore you become the bottleneck and slow things down. So it's about creating this flow through the company to allow things to be done and to be done without you having to be overseeing and doing it, and putting managers in place to oversee some of your administrative team and growing like that. So we're now creating a funnel and a scalable framework which allows us to go from the around 50 tenants, 48 tenants that we have at the minute. We're growing to over 100 by the end of next year, and the plan is to grow to over 500 in the next few years. So we invested in this heavily because we sat down with a mentor of ours and we went through what we wanted to achieve, and we took the responsibility on to say, look, currently we're managing very well, but we know that if we want to scale to, the 500 plus tenants, we're going to need a system in place that is so bulletproof, allows us to have certain different departments and teams, managers within those teams to ensure that it just keeps rolling without us.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, that's where we're going. At the minute, we're still in the process of actually implementing a lot of the systems. And I think we wanted to discuss in this video as well how it's benefiting us as the sort of business owners as well.
Can I just say scaling too quickly and scaling without the systems and the procedures often leads to failing. So we've seen a few people in the industry scale too quickly and struggle to manage the capacity to which they've grown to. And then that can damage relationships, it can cause a financial loss and a lot of stress. So rather than just bulldozing forward and, funneling in those rooms and getting the portfolio to a certain size, we've put that down and we've picked up systems and processes for the last 2 months and continuing for the next 9 months minimum. And it's really going to be our focus in creating that framework and structure, as Charles said, to carry us through without any of that stress or headache.
Yeah, it's a brilliant example of the stage that we're at in the business. We've actually slowed down to be able to grow. So we slowed to grow. And what's quite nice is to look at the sort of the gradual evolution of the business. You've got to put a lot of time in to get things off the ground, and you as number one have to do everything, because unless you come in at a high level and you start a company with employees, if you want to do a startup, you're number one and you have to answer and make decisions on everything, because those decisions effectively directs where you go. If you make the wrong decision, you're not going to go the right direction. As you grow, it can be quite difficult as business owners with that mentality to start with, to try and start letting go of that and delegating. And it's a process we're learning at the minute. For us, again, it's an interesting one, because if you look at it like gears in a car, to be able to change that next gear, you've actually got to disengage that engine, put the clutch in, and slow the car down before you put it into the next gear. So we're in that process of shifting gears. And it's a little bit of an unknown, because we're going into a large level corporation, but we're learning. We've taken on fantastic mentors, and we've got a video on mentors if you want to watch, of why we think they're beneficial, why we have mentors in certain different areas, not just one property mentor. We've got business coaches, everything spread across the board, mindset coaches, etc. And it's now in that really interesting transitional stage where we're growing and we're surrounding ourselves with people who are managing companies at a higher level than us, to be able to start implementing those things that we weren't doing as a sort of lower level business owner, because we were number one and just doing everything, and learning how to sort of let go, in a sense. It really is you're letting go, and you're trusting in the systems that you put in place and the team that you're building to be able to deliver the service that you, through the values that you have for the company.
So another reason why we chose to focus on systems and processes is so that we had the manuals in place, so that any staff member or new staff member could have a look and go through some quick training and learn how to do these new systems, rather than being in a position where you're beholden to somebody who knows how to do it, that has to train the new member, or us ourselves having to do that. And if a member of staff leaves, the cycle of having to retrain people is rather time consuming. So once these manuals are in place, there's a nice system for information to be acquired and systems to be continued without the need for us to be involved.
Yeah, 100%. I think that is really crucial as well. Point that was highlighted to us by our business coach. He said it's all very well and good getting a team now in place to help run and systemize the business, but what you don't want to do is exactly what Georgina just said. You don't want to then give that team member a responsibility, who then learns and does all the tasks within that department, to then actually only have the knowledge in his head. He needs to systemize it, or she needs to systemize it, to make sure that that's documented. So like what Georgina said, when the new member of staff comes in, or someone below them needs to learn it, they can just pick up a manual and have a look at how it works. Yes, there are going to be questions and things about it, but the basic process is detailed and outlined in a manual, a video, and they can pick up the task and it can be transferred to anyone within the team. So I think it's a really, really valuable point, because again, you don't want to create a problem that you've already got where it's all in your head and you've got to give it out and train people, and it's only locked in here, to then just giving it to an assistant who then just has it all locked in their head. They need to get it down on paper as well. It all needs to be systemized and used for the whole company's benefit. And I think that leads quite nicely onto the actual what the members of staff are doing, but be really specific to what they're doing. So actually it saved us time as opposed to going through a list that I might have written down a long time ago. Robert's doing this, gosh, okay, let's catch up with on that. I can go into because his notepad might be different to mine, it will be. And so we can go into Asana, we can see, and it's really, really simple stuff. But when you crack this, it opens up your brain and it takes a weight off your shoulder. It has for us.
Yeah.
And we log in, we see what they're doing, and we can prioritize and just go, okay, let's do this, this, and this. It overlaps with other team members. If you're waiting for approval for something, you can assign it to another team member, and then you can say, right, okay, have a check-in with them. Why has this not been done yet? Oh, I'm waiting for this, and it's really, really effective. And so I want to sum up what that actually means in terms of what time I'm now putting into the business. So we've sort of set up and we've stabilized all the systems roughly of what we're doing at the minute. They're getting better and we're always evolving. But essentially what I do every single week now is I have a 1 hour team meeting at the beginning of every week. And although reluctant to do all of these things to start with, our business coach said you've got to put the time in, and you can eventually replace someone with a COO to manage the whole team. But it's important that we know as business owners what's going on. So every week we have a team meeting, and that sets the tone for the values of the company, reinforces what we're doing that week. We also have a one-to-one check-in with our team, and we have 4 team members at the moment who work with us, and I have a check-in every week with them, a one-to-one with them. And that might be half an hour to an hour. We just go through the topics of what they're doing and just, reorganize priorities and things. And also we have a daily check-in. We do a daily check-in at 6:45 a.m. every day, which they go through any challenges they had the previous day. They outline what their plans are to do today, and then they just say if they need any help. And it takes 15 minutes, that one. Each team member goes through that. I include myself in that, Georgina's tasks. And so that we all know what we're doing. We're all pulling in the same direction. And we, again, just, realign and just keep, pulling those strings in the right direction, making sure we're going the right way. And it's so valuable. And really what we've seen from the benefit from what we're doing now is that just from, nearly 3 months now of implementing this with our business coach, essentially we could probably run this business now on about 4 to 6 hours a week, because I've got my team meeting for 1 hour, I've got my daily check-ins which are 15 minutes each over 5 days, so it's about 1 hour and 15, so just over 2 hours there, and then I give the team between 30 minutes and an hour each, there's 4 of them. So we've got between 4 to 6 hours that needs to be allocated to run the business and ensure things are staying as they are. Obviously we're putting more time in to help put other systems and things in place, but it just shows the power of when you start systemizing and putting things in order and have a really good framework to operate on, how powerful that is to relieve your time. I mean, eventually you can then get a manager in to take that 4 or 5 hours work off doing that, and it frees you up completely. So we're just in that process. We're really excited about it. We've got a really good business coach helping us do that. I don't know, do you want to add anything else to that?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, really.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I think we're really excited. You see, I'm excited because this has been a big pain point for me, or a big challenge, being able to run projects as well as keep the team and everything going along. It's just taking a huge weight off my shoulders. So if you want to reach out and discuss anything to do with those systems, more than happy, Georgina, more than happy to help and share and direct you towards anyone who may be able to help you. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye.